All right, let's dive right into one of the biggest questions out there. Where exactly is paradise? Is it something we have to wait for after we die, or could it be something we're supposed to build right here and right now? I mean, really think about that for a second. We're so often told to just get through this life, endure the hard stuff because there's a reward later. But what if that's missing the point? What if the whole game is about transforming the world we're in? This exact idea, well, it kicked off a revolution in Japanese Buddhism. So, to really get why this was such a game changer, we need to understand the world it came from. Let's take a look at what most people thought salvation was all about. It makes total sense, right? When life is hard, when there's war and chaos and uncertainty, the idea of a perfect, peaceful place waiting for you in the afterlife, well, that's incredibly comforting. It's a promise that all this suffering isn't forever. And this was definitely the case back in 13th century Japan during the Kamakura period. It was a time of just massive upheaval. To a lot of people, the world felt completely broken, and the only logical thing to do was to look for an escape hatch. The most popular escape plan was the Pure Land, or Jodo. The whole idea was that if you had faith, especially in Amida Buddha, then after you died, you'd get to be reborn in his amazing paradise. It was a place with no suffering, where becoming enlightened was basically a guarantee. So here's the bottom line. For the major Buddhist schools at the time, salvation was a destination. It was all about leaving this messy and perfect world behind and heading somewhere way, way better. But right in the middle of all this, one monk looked at the exact same situation and came up with a totally different and honestly completely radical answer. This monk, Nichiren, he was living through the same chaos, seeing the same suffering as everybody else. But his first thought wasn't, how do we get out of here? It was, how do we fix this place? And this quote right here, this is the core of everything he taught. He's basically saying, hold on a minute, everybody. You've got it backwards. We're already standing in this sacred place. The job isn't to leave. The job is to reveal the paradise that's already here. And this just lays out the difference perfectly. On one side, you've got this passive hope for a world to come. And on the other, you have an active mission to build a better world now. It completely flips the focus from salvation after you die to transformation while you're alive. Okay, so it's a really powerful idea, but how? How do you actually turn this world into a pure land? Well, Nichiren wasn't just talking philosophy. He actually had a blueprint. He called it Rissho Onkoku. It's a fancy-sounding phrase, but the idea is pretty simple. To have a peaceful and secure country, you first have to establish the right spiritual foundation. He argued that you just can't have a healthy society if its core beliefs are off base. This quote just nails it. He's throwing out the whole idea that you can find peace just for yourself. It doesn't work that way. Your personal happiness is completely tangled up with the well-being of everyone around you. It's a profound call for us to realize we're all in this together. So here's how the plan works, step by step. First, you identify the problem. People are so focused on the next life that they're neglecting this one. The solution starts with the individual. Each person has to embrace the true teaching. Then, that inner change naturally spills out into positive action in society. And finally, when enough people do this, the whole nation starts to transform. It becomes the Pure Land on Earth. And the actual tool he gave people to kickstart that personal transformation was chanting Nam Myo Ho Renge Kyo. Now, this wasn't about praying to some external being. It was a practice designed to awaken the powerful, enlightened potential, the Buddha nature, that he insisted exists inside every single person. So you might be wondering, was this idea of finding enlightenment in this world totally out of left field? Was Nichiren completely on his own here? Well, not entirely. While his social action plan was pretty unique, he was definitely tapping into a bigger philosophical trend in Japanese Buddhism, this growing sense that this life, this body, this world, this is where the magic happens. I mean, centuries before Nichiren, you had the incredible monk Kukai, who taught this idea of Sokushin Jobutsu. It means becoming a Buddha in this very body. Just think about how wild that is. No need to wait for countless lifetimes. You can achieve enlightenment right now in your current physical form. And that way of thinking went even deeper. There was this beautiful idea that it's not just humans who have this potential. It's everything. Plants, trees, even the land itself. All of it has the potential for Buddhahood. This view really reinforces that the physical world isn't something to be escaped. It's absolutely sacred. So, okay, this is all fascinating history, but why does a theological debate from the 13th century still matter to us today? What's the takeaway here? It really boils down to three huge points. First, it's a call to shift from being a passive bystander hoping for a better future to being an active creator of a better present. Second, it draws this unbreakable line connecting our own personal growth to our responsibility for society. And third, it totally reframes how we see the world, not as a prison to escape, but as the sacred stage where we realize our highest potential. When you put it all together, this philosophy just flips the whole idea of salvation on its head. It stops being a destination you hope to arrive at, and it becomes a project you get to work on. And that kind of leaves us with a pretty big question to think about, doesn't it? If paradise isn't some faraway place, but a project we build right here, where is your pure land? And what's your part in building it?